meant for an adult audience. Loveline may contain sexually oriented content. Listener discretion is advised. 2, 1, go. Adam Carolla and Dr. Drew. Loveline, coast to coast.
Yep, it is Loveline. I'm Adam Carolla. It's Dr. Drew over there. Phone number 1-800-LOVE-191. I'll tell you that plan to have the sound of the anvil going through the sliding glass door just before the show starts, repetitively.
Night after night.
Night after night. It's a bad call, and I'll tell you why. Because Drew and I don't put our headphones on until after that. Except for the problem is after that's when the show starts. So each night before the show, we stand here with or I should say sit here. And I look forward to the day when I say lay here.
Oh. Ooh.
When we just sit here with our headphones held out above our heads, but in the stretched open position, ready to drop down on our noggins as soon as the beginning of the show is over. All right, it is Loveline. Phone number 1-800-LOVE-191. Fax number 310-854-4455. Dr. Drew is a board-certified physician and addiction medicine specialist. And I had something I wanted to say, and now I can't remember.
Oh, that's nice.
That's good. Yeah.
You did politically incorrect tonight.
Oh, you did?
Yeah.
How'd that go?
Good. Ralph Nader.
Oh.
Interesting.
How's that crackpot doing?
He's all right. Got a lot of slogans, a lot of just shibboleths, empty, like, we're going to get the man, and we're going to get those fat cats, and we're going to blah, blah, blah.
Yeah, right.
Nice man.
Yeah, seems like
Yeah.
it. Well, you can't go wrong talking. I mean,
attacking people with money.
Attacking people with money, right. Yeah, but listen, everybody who wants to attack people with money, now that I'm, literally a millionaire, let me explain something. It is tantamount to you cutting the head off of the country. Now, I know this is not a popular viewpoint, but you know why most of the people who have money?
Luck.
Contrary to popular demand?
It.
No, they did not inherit it. They're smarter than we are. They work harder. They work longer. They stay up longer. They get up earlier, and they're smarter. And when you combine all those things together, you then have people who have more money than you do, and I do, and Drew does, and Ralph Nader does. Now, it's okay for us to demonize them. That's fine. But let's not cut them off, because that 10% of society pays for 90% of the stuff. And then what'll happen is all you people who are complaining, you're going to have to start paying for stuff when you cut those people off. It's I don't know what it is. It's a very alarming number, but a very small percentage of society, maybe it's 7 or 8%, pays for like 95% of everything. Yeah. And all you got to do is think about what Bill Gates is putting in tax-wise each year. Picture if you had a little graph. It's like Bill Gates, one little, those little sort of black silhouette people they put, like what's on a bathroom door.
Right.
Picture Bill Gates on one side of the chart, and then how many other little silhouette people to the left side of the chart it would take to fill up with the little dollar sign underneath him in terms of tax revenue.
Yeah.
Does he need that money? I don't know. Don't care. That's not our business. Our job is not to question whether he needs that much money. Our job is to say, how many of those other little people does he pay for? And the number is one Bill Gates, and then there'd be several million, maybe 100 million other people next to Bill Gates. Now, you want to cut that guy's head off? Good plan. I say we just laugh. Shouldn't all those people that are on the left side of the column just be looking over and laughing that he's paying for the roads and the schools that his kids never use?
Good point.
Isn't that funny?
Yeah, good point.
Shouldn't we be laughing? Well, let's not attack him. Let's laugh at him. We'll do that, but let's not attack him. Lindsay?
Hi.
Hey, what's up?
I'm withdrawing really, really bad from heroin.
Mm-hmm.
I was wondering if you guys know anything that I could do to help me get through it.
Yeah, there's a ton of medication that will help. But Lindsay, you got to get in a hospital. It's very important that you don't. Detoxing is an easy thing, as lousy as it feels compared to staying off. So you got to get into a program.
Why she got to go to a hospital then if the detox is easy?
As hard as it is, it's not as hard as staying off the drug. So she needs to get treatment, and people can help you with the withdrawal, no problem.
I don't want my parents to find out about it.
How long have you been doing heroin?
I've done it for like 5 months probably.
Well, Lindsay, once you get onto that drug, a switch basically gets thrown in your brain that never unswitches, and your family's going to have to be a part of the process of you getting over this. It's not something you just kind of stop doing and walk away from. Every heroin addict has that fantasy. You have to get treatment. You have to come clean about this. It's very, I'm sure, humiliating and unpleasant, but it's a common problem, and it's quite treatable.
How were you taking the heroin?
Smoking?
I sniffed sometimes, and then other times I shot it up.
Okay.
And what made you decide to stop?
It's ruined my life so bad.
Ruined your what?
A life so bad.
Oh.
My life terribly.
Well, why now? Why are you stopping now?
Because I don't even get high from it anymore. I just do it so I don't feel sick. I hate it so bad.
All right. That's a good PSA, by the way, for not doing heroin. So what should she do, Drew? What's her?
You got to
next
go.
move?
Maybe get yourself to an emergency room tonight. Is there a psychiatric hospital nearby that has an addiction program? Do you know?
I'm not sure.
You got to get yourself in a facility. I promise you, they can make this a lot easier, and more importantly, they can get.
Well, what would they do?
They'll give her. Many places will give something called clonidine, Robaxin, Motrin, Bentyl, Ativan sometimes. Mirapex we use, Neurontin.
Yeah.
A whole range of medication
some of that.
that can make these withdrawal symptoms much, much milder.
Well, let me ask. Hold on a second there, Lindsay. Drew, let me ask this like emergency situation. Like, let's say I'm camping, and
You start detoxing.
I forget my rig.
Yeah.
And I start getting the DTs, and I'm just up on top of Mount Pino somewhere, and I got a few days where I am snowed in. So, is attempting to sleep, is that the best, or movement and exercise? Drink a lot of water.
Drink a lot of water and just distract yourself.
Drink a lot of water. Play a lot of Nintendo.
You're on a mountaintop, right? You have nothing.
No, well, let's say I packed some like Tylenol PMs or something, or some scotch.
Well, scotch will...
Well, that's what I'm saying. I mean, I'm just saying I'm in a pinch. I got to make it through the night. I got a 750 milliliter Johnny Walker Red Label here. I got some Tylenol PM. I got some stream water. I got some pemmican. That's jerky.
Part of what is happening to the brain is it's hyperactive. Let's say there are parts of it that are overstimulating, and alcohol and sleeping pills, things like that, will
slow it down.
Take that edge off a little bit. It won't do anything for the pain and the craving and the depression, though.
Right, but maybe you'll fall asleep. Possibly.
You don't. These people, even we blast them with stuff, they don't fall asleep.
Ooh.
But at least you might
like
not
me.
feel so edgy.
Hey, Lindsay?
Yeah?
All right, so what's your plan for tonight?
I don't know.
Well, I mean, are you just going to sit in your room and sweat, or are you going to call a hospital, or?
I don't want to go tonight because I don't want my parents to find out about it.
Lindsay, your parents are going to, either because they find you dead, or because you're going to decide to get over this. So they need to. Why not now? Let's just get it on. Let's get on with it. Tell them what's happening. Get them involved with it, and let's go.
Well, when did you get off it?
2 days.
This is my second day.
How was the last? Is the second day worse than the first day?
Yeah, a lot worse.
No, it is. Is it normally that way? Oh.
I don't know.
Really? So it takes.
From it before, but.
Okay. All right. So what are you going to do right now? I mean, what about taking a couple of sleeping pills and going to bed?
No.
That's irresponsible advice?
No, because she will. If she gets her edge off, she'll keep going. Believe me, they can't stop.
Oh, you mean if she loses her edge, she'll do more heroin?
No, more sleeping pills. And
more sleeping pills.
A big problem.
Yeah, that doesn't work though. You take like 3 of those Tylenol PMs and it wakes you up. All right, Drew, tell her what to do. Let's go.
You got to tell your parents. You got to come clean. You got to go.
Oh, maybe she could just go somewhere tonight. She got to tell them tonight.
Are you live with your parents?
Yeah.
Oh. Hey, Lindsay.
Yeah.
This is part of the problem with this drug. It's not like, well, there's a kind of a medium hard and easy or sort of. It's a hard choices need to be made.
It's an awful drug and it causes a deadly disease.
But you're 18. You're young.
Unless you do something about it, treatment, meaning telling your family, getting them involved, you will not live to see 30. Unfortunately, that's the reality. And so let's get it tonight so you don't endanger yourself any further. Just get going.
And when you say live to see 30, you don't mean you would skip 30 and go to 31.
Right. You'll never see 30. They actually might go right to 40.
So you know what? I thought that meant you died at 30, but you're saying you go 28, 29, 31, 32, and then you keep going.
No, you die before 30. It's awful disease.
I get so focused on the number, not living to see 30, that
Why don't you, Ann?
You don't understand it's an honest mistake?
I can understand. It's all right. It's been a difficult night. Find out what city Lindsay's living in, and let's see if we can find a facility near her. Maybe hook them up. Give them a call.
All right. Jason.
Hey, what's going on?
All right. 21 there.
Yeah, that's right.
Trouble with defecating, huh?
Yeah, it's pretty painful when that happens. Not having too much fun with that. Yeah, that's pretty much it.
What's going on down there?
Can you describe this?
Well, when I go to use the restroom, it feels like someone shoved a mason jar up there.
Oh,
is that it? Huh?
Yeah, that's it. But he didn't quite get it right.
No, I don't think it's a joke. I think that's just how he's describing it because he knows the show.
Oh yeah, well maybe he is.
Jason?
Yo.
Was that just a payoff for a bogus call, or you actually?
It was just a payoff.
Okay,
actually,
right.
though, I was hoping.
Hey, hold on, Anderson. Do you ever get tired of being wrong? Anderson, I need to use you throughout the course of my day because there's decisions to be made.
I just gave him way too much credit for being one of our callers.
I need you to come over around Super Bowl time.
That was the dumbest joke I've ever heard in my life, ever.
I know.
I'm trying to do my best here under really difficult circumstances.
I like Anderson better when he's not listening to the show.
He usually listens.
Oh, I know. He's got those damn headphones. Or cans, as we call them in the business.
Nobody's listening.
All right, so Jason makes a bogus call and then has another call for another question, but we're not going to talk to him.
That's correct.
And you listen, everybody. You have to expect when you call a syndicated radio show and you start off with a bogus call that we get into for a couple of beats, and then you make you give out the punchline, which is the mason jar asshole thing. You got to expect that the hosts aren't going to be all ears when it comes time to ask your follow-up question. Wouldn't you?
Yeah.
Wouldn't you expect that? I mean, we're not doing anything out of line here, are we?
Yeah.
Adam?
Hello?
You're 12. What's up, champ?
Yeah, I think I'm in depression because I keep on beating myself up.
Mm-hmm.
Like I would hit my head into a wall.
Yeah.
And I want to know how I can stop this.
There is medication for that, but Adam, at 12, that's a pretty serious sign.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, you ought to get some help with that. I mean, it really suggests that you've got a lot of anger and aggression, and you have difficulty managing it, and all you can do is pound your head into a wall. That's a pretty primitive way of dealing with feelings.
Well, I don't know.
Well, I know you do it, but that's beside the point.
Yeah, you got to watch out.
Adam went from that to beating off, I guess, right?
Yeah, I'm still on that.
Yeah,
You're not suggesting I quit,
no,
are you?
No.
Hey, let me just explain something, fellas who punched the walls out. Most of it is just half-inch drywall, and that's no problem. Any 12-year-old could punch their fist or their forehead through it. But once in a while, you catch a stud, and that's trouble. Also, right about the 4-foot level on most walls, fire blocking. There'll be horizontal blocks going in between the king studs.
Uh-huh.
So you don't want to punch down. Like, you don't want to punch about hip height. You might grab a fire block. Better percentage to go up top. Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Go about
shoulder
height, and figure in the corners, where like a door jamb is, you're going to have a king stud and then a trimmer, and then you're going to have about 14 and a half inches in between the bay because they're 16 on center. That's where you want to drop it in. So if you're going to throw a punch, again, shoulder height, and I like to punch mine in the vicinity of the door jamb, but not so close where I'm going to catch either the 2x4 that's the king stud or the trimmer that's in there holding the header over the door jamb there. Straight out, and make a slight twisting action as you impact the drywall. All right there, Drew?
Here we go.
I'll also use a stud finder, and what I'll do if I don't have a stud finder and I'm in the middle of a tantrum, I'll take a tape that I carry on my keychain, and I'll just try to figure out what layout is, as we call it. And I'll put it up against the corner, and I know there's a king stud there in the corner, and I'll drag it along the baseboard, and I'll just mark it with a pencil, 16 on center, see where I'm at. Then I'll go up, and I'll take a finish nail.
Let's heal some babies!
Shut up. Punch the thing through the wall and see if I catch a stud. And if I don't feel anything, but just punch us through, then I'll go ahead and use that as my mark.
Good times.
All right. Don't push that, Anderson. You piss me off.
David, what's up?
I kind of have a problem with depression.
Yeah.
And I threaten to kill myself once in a while with my mom. And she gets really upset over it, and I really don't know what to do. I mean, I'm just constantly depressed.
Have you gotten help for this?
No, never.
Why not?
Well, it just never asked anybody about it. I mean...
Well, David, you have a life-threatening illness, and you're having potentially life-threatening symptoms.
Oh, no. I don't really want to kill myself. I just tell people that. I mean, I tell my mom that, rather. I don't tell other people that, but I tell that to my mom, and I don't even know why. It's just I'm so depressed, I just feel like saying it.
Where's your dad?
Right now, he's in the military. He's up in Georgia, and he's about to be shipped out.
Are there things besides that are depressing you in your life?
Actually, it's things from the past, actually.
What's that?
Well, about 6 or 7 years ago, my mom told me how I really came about. I mean, my dad is not my real dad. He's really my stepdad. And my mom told me about 7 years ago that she had been she'd been raped by a guy, and I was born because of that.
Oh,
she got pregnant by that guy, and
first of all, it's a little bit to lay on a 9-year-old, but
he was almost 10.
Yeah, be that as it may.
I mean, on some level, hold on. How does that? Honey, David, have you heard of rape? Oh, you haven't. This is when a man holds a woman down and oftentimes beats her and then has intercourse.
Intercourse, Mom? Intercourse?
Humpy.
Mom?
He takes his ding-a-ling and puts it in her hoo-ha.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Why?
But, well, because he's a bad man.
Oh, it's bad when guys do that.
Yes, and mommies cry. Anyway, that's where you came from. So what's it going to be tonight? Arby's or Pizza Hut? Jesus Christ, Mom. Look, Drew, I don't believe you should speak to your kids about anything until their 18th birthday. Anything.
Yeah.
David?
Yeah.
Hey, I'm sorry that your mom told you that.
On one hand, it's a lot to lay on a 9-year-old. On the other hand,
it
shows your mom's level of commitment to your life. She was willing to commit herself in spite of this having happened in sort of nefarious ways. She loves you. She made sure you had life. And how this happened had nothing to do with you. You are the victim in all this, really, as much as she is.
Well, it really didn't happen the way that Adam was talking about it. Kind of happened this way. She was partying with some friends one night or something to that effect. She was having
hold on, David. I don't want to cut you off, but I got to cut you off, which is that's sort of not germane to our story. I mean, we're trying to figure out what you can do about not being depressed, and the fact that you're here on the planet, we're just going to take as a given. And I don't want to get too caught up in the past. The point is you, if you're depressed, must talk to a doctor, get an evaluation, see about getting on some medication, talk to a counselor or a therapist. A lot of 16-year-old guys are depressed. This happens to half the population. You're not the only one, and you got to get some help. And it's doable now. I'll tell you, the two things that I think were around when we were growing up, Drew, are the two things that you can really work on in this day and age, which is zits and depression.
Yeah, they both are. That's right. There's no reason to suffer from these things. And in David's case, again, I understand he doesn't really believe that he's actively suicidal, but he's having suicidal thoughts. That is a profoundly serious situation. If his life were that endangered by any other illness, he'd be running to the doctor. Same thing applies here. This is a life-threatening condition, and he's got to do something about it. There's no reason to suffer with this.
Yeah. True?
Yeah.
Who are you talking to here on line 6?
Is that not a line?
No.
Okay, fair enough.
Yeah.
Jen?
Yeah.
You're 16?
Hey, guys, what's up? I just want to say, first-time caller, long-time listener, I love you guys.
Great.
Yeah. Whatever.
Great. What's
nice
up?
Enthusiastic caller. We haven't had one of those in about a week.
I know.
Okay, well, here's my question.
I
have a friend, and his pretty much best friend is a big druggie. She takes LSD and acid and stuff, but she has like a 4.2 GPA. I mean, she's an incredibly smart kid, and she writes essays on like acid and stuff, and I'm wondering how, and she gets A's on them. How is that possible?
Well,
I don't get it.
there's several issues. One is that I hope I've never given the impression or said that LSD affects cognition, cognitive functioning, intellectual functioning. It affects emotional functioning, it affects personality functioning, it affects perceptions, it affects a lot of other stuff, but it doesn't necessarily affect intellectual functioning. Now, in terms of the performance on, creative endeavors or intellectual endeavors, people have done studies where they put people on drugs, told them to do the best thing they could, then took them off drugs, and had them write something else, and asked them, subjectively what was the better, and they, of course, said, the one I did on drugs, I was so inspired, it was so great. Then they have them look at both of them and evaluate them, and the person who done drugs, they just go, it's a piece of crap. What was I thinking? So objectively,
when drugs, they were high, but
when they were high,
not high when she's writing these
she
papers.
Said she writes on LSD. She said.
Well, I don't think that's what she meant. Jen?
Yeah.
Is she high when she's writing the papers?
Yeah.
And she's getting A's on them?
Yeah.
Well, Tim Leary, she's very smart.
Right. There are people that, and it's interesting.
It's not. Here's the thing. Some people are just so goddamn smart that they're able to overcome a lot of things. I mean, listen, I'll give you an example. There's some athletes, and you hear about these guys all the time. They can drink, they can smoke, they don't work out, they don't have the work ethic, they don't have the diet that a lot of the other guys have, they're lazy, so on and so forth. They still excel because they had such a great hand dealt to them physically and genetically that they're able to overcome all the things that would hurt a lot of other guys. And it never lasts forever, but there's nothing like it. I mean, look, there ain't a work ethic, and I'm sending a great message to the kids, but there's nothing that can ever trump a good genetic hand. I don't care how hard you work, whether it's an athlete or as a student. Certain stuff just comes easier to certain people. And so the question is not that is this making her smarter, is it screwing her up enough to get her out of the A category? And the answer is no.
And in other ways is it screwing her up, and things that can't be measured in intellectual, formats. Timothy Leary was up on the show a couple times before he died, and he was, he could express himself with such great clarity. It was like vibrant expression, but when you dug beneath it, it was like sort of disorganized, and he had real perceptual problems. He couldn't put headphones on his head. I'll never forget this. He couldn't figure out how to put a set of cans on his ears.
Yeah, cans. Thank you for correcting yourself. And also to youngins who are listening to my voice as I speak. I just drifted off there, Drew. I got weird. Don't ever let me close my eyes again when I'm talking. There's also this thing that you think, as a kid, it's real confusing because I remember when there was a kid that smoked. I was like, oh, man, this guy smokes. How could he play on the football team? Because smoking, man, it takes your breath away, and it does this. Look, you could smoke a pack a day, and at 17, do fine on the football team.
That's right.
You could drink and get loaded every weekend and smoke and still kick anyone's ass if you were going to kick their ass anyway.
At 17.
At 17.
Now at 27, if you've been doing that all that rest of that time.
Even then, you'll kick a fair amount of ass. Sad but true, with the boozing and the smoking. It takes quite some time, and I'm saying the same with the drug use, It's the same with all this stuff. You don't feel it in high school. I mean, you're still going to do well on your tests. You're still going to kick ass in your wrestling match.
That is precisely the problem, is that high school-age kids don't see the consequences biologically in their peers because they're not using long enough.
Well, and part of the problem, too, is everyone tells them how it's going to ruin them.
Yeah.
And it doesn't really seem to ruin them.
Right.
And so they say, well, how bad could this be? This person was lying.
Right, screw that. Right.
All right. So anyway, Jen, your friend, may be a very smart person, and the drugs may not be knocking her down far enough to feel effect at this point, but one day she will. And you can take some solace in that. And Drew, what is this nonsense with the 4.3 GPA?
I know.
Over the 4. Listen, 4.0, that's the best GPA you can have, is it not? I mean, don't tell me, because my GPA was like a 1.7 or something like that. What's the D? The 2? No, D. What's 2? 2 is a C. Is that true?
No, C is a.
No, 3 is a B. 4.
No, you're right.
4.0 is an A.
You're right.
I had a little, I had like a 1.5 GPA.
Nice.
But 4 was the ceiling.
Right.
Now it's going up to 4.5.
It's making your achievements look diminished.
This 4.3 BS is the 100. It's right up there with the 110%. I submit it does not exist. It's like when I get -4 stars.
Which you're very proud of.
When they review shows of mine in the newspaper and they give me -4 stars, I would argue mathematically that equation is not possible. That you cannot be minus stars.
It's just a
on
new
star
system. Why do we have to have a new system? Just give me a 0 star.
Look, if you're giving a movie a rating of 1 to 5, you can't give it a -4. That doesn't exist. That's not fair.
If it's red-handed, I think it does.
Oh, please. Anderson bringing up red-handed. How dare he?
I was thinking about that this morning for some reason.
How dare everyone?
I was. I swear to God. This is an interesting call. Diana?
Yeah, this is me.
What's up?
Hi. First of all, I'd like to say that I don't go through a day without making somebody laugh by Adam's jokes or helping somebody with advice with Dr. Drew's
jokes.
Advice.
Oh.
Okay.
Thanks.
You're welcome. I'm kind of nervous, but here's my thing. I have been in a marriage for 12 years, and it's been like a rough one, rather emotionally and verbally abusive in a way, and I made the mistake of moving last summer with my husband to the Middle East.
Oh, good times.
Why?
Why? He had me convinced that it would be a better life for me and our kids, our 2 kids.
Yeah, it's great. We can roll around in the sand.
What was it about that for him that was better?
He had been here for a long time and found that work and everything was just too much, too stressful for him, and he couldn't handle it anymore.
Interesting.
Bad business decisions. And
Where are you going in the Middle East?
Jordan.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
It's beautiful, beautiful people. Beautiful
That's
country,
where he's
beautiful
from.
Culture.
Yes, that's where
Right.
he's from. So what happened was we went there last summer, and as of February, I told him that I needed to come back because we were having problems. And he let me take my youngest son, who's 3, with me, but my oldest son, who is 7, is still there with him.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm having a tough time making the decision about whether or not I should go back and try to get my son back, or if I'm better off staying here.
How do they treat the ladies over there in Jordan?
Well, the ones that I've talked to, basically their quote is, "Well, I'm just a woman. What can I do?" You know.
I mean, like if he killed you,
yeah,
would something happen to him?
I guess if he had good reason to back it up, no.
How were you treated when you were there?
Fairly okay, but I mean the situation between the 2 of us, he was getting more verbally abusive, and I don't know. It wasn't a good situation.
All right, and you have your one son. Does he want the other son?
His thing is, well, if he wants to go with you, that's fine. You can take him, but he doesn't. He's 7, and basically, more or less, he's a boy, and he's treated like a prince there. So
no, yeah.
He doesn't have the urge to want to come back here.
No, listen, I don't blame him. You come over here and you got a bunch of angry lesbians and tree huggers beating the crap out of you for being a guy. I'd rather go to a place that was a little more guy-friendly myself.
Okay, well.
Are the kids being raised Islam?
Yes.
And are you doing that with
wonderful religion?
Are you going to continue that out here with the 3-year-old?
No.
Uh-oh. Allah's going to be mad. Jesus. Hey, let me ask you a question.
Okay.
Middle East, worst taste culture in the world? Would you say just from a taste standpoint? Mix in music, fashion, jewelry, architecture,
furniture,
interior design.
I'll put it this way. They're probably about 10 years behind the times, but...
10? I'd put about 3 zeros behind that, behind that 10.
You know, they're still into the Michael Jackson Thriller thing.
They're the worst. I was just discussing this yesterday. They have the worst taste of any culture in the Middle East. Well, she said, I think that's safe to say.
Well,
like, could you imagine an IKEA equivalent, but it's all Middle Eastern stuff?
You know what? I'll tell you something. They have a really nice Safeway there.
Oh, really?
They're moving up in the times.
Wow. All right.
Yeah.
All right. So, listen, why don't you... Well, make sure your son wants to come back with you, and if he does, go get him. And if he doesn't, then you can't go get him.
It's so hard for me because it's like, I mean, we kind of had like a really close relationship, and I've been away from him for like 2 months, and it's just been really
Do you
hard.
talk to him every day?
No, as a matter of fact, I've only been able to speak to him once.
This is just awful.
Hold on, something's a little off here.
Yeah? How do you mean?
Well, you had a real close relationship with the guy, your son, but you agreed to leave him behind.
Well, okay, put it this way. When you're there, you don't have any family, you don't speak the language, and things are becoming, my husband was being,
He's being abusive, so you grab the one kid, you get out of there. But why is it you've only been able to speak to him once in the last 2 months?
Well, I've tried to call, but it's always the excuse of, he's not here, or he's sleeping, or...
So the husband's keeping him away.
And brainwashing him, in my opinion, and
all right.
Many other people's opinions.
Brainwashing about what?
About, why would your mother leave you? And I mean, this.
Oh, boy. This is just an awful situation.
I know. This is, by the way, why you don't have kids with idiots. No, you have mixed marriages, but you can't. Didn't you see that Sally Fields movie? It was a TV special about 8 or 10 years ago. This is what goes on.
Not without my daughter.
Not without something.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, my Golden Globe. As it turns out, she went away to the Hamptons for the weekend, and she'd left her Golden Globe at Sissy Spacek's summer cottage.
I think you have the wrong move.
The point is this is I know this isn't doing you any good, but anyone listening and thinking about marrying a Middle Eastern guy and then heading back to his homeland with him, go ahead and expect the worst.
Exactly.
That's all I'm saying.
I'll back you up on that.
Yeah, at least you got out of there in one piece.
Right.
Yeah,
I'm almost thinking like you got to. Is sad and pathetic. It's like you almost got to chalk this one up to experience.
No, not all right.
No, yes. Yeah, that's what you're dealing with. The entire country of no, not all right. Oh.
You know what's another thing? I called the Jordanian consulate today and asked them, what my rights would be if I went back and wanted to take my son. And their advice was, I think you should just go back and work things out. Everything will be fine.
Yeah.
No, not all right.
He'll kill you with one of those giant Arabian Nights swords.
In a way, that's your only solution if you're going to try to make a solution. Beyond that, what is really important is that you find a way to, on your son's behalf, I guess the least you can do is to try to maintain a connection with him and let him know how much you love him and how much you care about him, how painful it is for you to leave.
Yeah.
But that you have to, and that life has created this huge rift, and try to let him know that it's not about him, and then the 3-year-old just really start to raise that 3-year-old and establish a life for him out here.
Yeah, it's too bad. Awful. Too bad he's going to be missing out on Allah. Very sad. Very sad. Allah's a wonderful, wonderful man. Nobody should be raised without him.
He's not a man, see.
Oh, he's not a man?
Muhammad's the man.
Oh, who's Allah?
Allah's God.
Wasn't Gala? Allah? Why not combine him, call him Gala? No, doesn't Allah have a dork? I mean, he's got a penis, right?
No.
Well, he's God.
No, but he just is. He's just.
Oh, he just is? He's everywhere?
Yeah.
Yeah. He's the one who's showering them with sunlight, no water, parching the earth, and forcing them to basically just live on the dirt floor. He's a great guy. What about our God?
Yes.
A Christian God?
Mm-hmm.
What's he? Is he a guy?
Depends which sort of Christian sect you're in. I mean, sometimes
I like
Jesus
to think of him as a guy. Or is he in all of us?
Some.
Okay. It's all working out, everybody.
Let's take a break. Let's
keep
I'll
focusing
give you a
on
little theology lesson during the break.
Allah's not a dude. I picture Allah as like a husky guy wearing a robe and a turban with like a big beard. Sort of like Saint Nick from Lebanon. Like if Santa came from the Middle East.
As I understand, Allah is basically these are all Abrahamic religions, and so Allah is sort of the same as Yahweh. He's
Yahweh,
a Judaic God.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, listen, I know it all makes sense.
Yeah, somehow.
Yeah, you guys keep going, all of you. You crazy Jews, you head on down to the synagogue and don't shave. No, don't shave. You don't shave. And you Allah guys, you put that towel on the ground and face toward Mecca, because that's going to make a big difference. And you're born again. You study that Bible. And remember, literal interpretation. That's the key to happiness. Study that Bible. Beat the crap out of your kids. Great. Fantastic. We'll take a little break. We'll be right back. Hey, everybody, Loveline. I was just explaining to Drew during the break that there'll never be peace in the Middle East, ever, because the people in that part of the country, whereas I'm not one to judge, are very mean people. And you don't believe me? Ordered a little Zankou chicken, little Lebanese chicken for lunch today over at the office. Yeah, good times. Yeah, they're delightful. Even the people that come from that country to this country and open chicken stands are mean. Let's see. Give me a half beef shawarma and half chicken. No, it cannot be done.
No, not all right.
No. Well, they're the same price, right? Yes. And they're 2 feet apart on the counter there. Yes. Why don't you give me the half chicken and a half? No, cannot. Okay. Well, let's see. On the chicken order, give me all white meat. No, tis not done. Listen, I'll pay a little. No, cannot. I know I got the couscous and the falafel plate, and that came to $6. You got a $10 minimum on your Visa card. I don't have any cash. Just charge me the $10 for the couscous. No. Listen, you don't understand it. It's only $6.95. I'm saying charge me the whole $10 and we'll put it on the mask. No, it cannot be done. It's okay, thank you. You're a delight. You're delightful folks over there. Really delight. So, is that part of the world ever going to get along? No, it will not. Because their people love to say no. They love to argue. They love to get in your face. And we wonder why everyone is fighting over there constantly. You want to know why everyone's fighting over there constantly? Those folks love to fight. You know those families that fight constantly? You have them, you see them on cops. They live down the street sometimes. You went to school with some of them. Fighting, fist fights, dad and the brother and brother. All that chaos, constant chaos. You know why they're constantly fighting? It's not because of, money or food or education. They fight. That's what they do. They like it. I don't even say that they like it. It's just what they do. The same people, there's people who never get into fights and people who do nothing but fight. I don't know why it is, but for the same reason the guys who are never going to get in a fight aren't ever going to get in a fight, the people that fight, they fight. Constantly. And that's what they do. And the Middle East has been fighting for 1 billion years, and guess what, folks? It's going to go. It's going to keep going. No, cannot! That scare you, Drew?
Startled me.
Yeah, everyone go out and try yourself some nice Lebanese food so you can get yelled at. It's really the only dining experience where you get yelled at while you eat. Based on my experience at Zankou Chicken. Play it again. Here's my band. It's a shawarma thing turning. Oh, wait, Anderson's got a better. Meat! No! No, cannot have. No, cannot have. No, cannot have. Try this beverage. It's goat-based. No, cannot have. No, cannot have. No, cannot have. No, you cannot have. No mixing. No, cannot have. Read menu. No, get fired. No. Yeah, be a good band, wouldn't it? Oh, it's always great. Now, I kid those people, but truly they're miserable people. I'm really sad that I ever have to do business with any of these folks, whether they're working at a gas station or at the Zankou Chicken. It's always painful. Always painful. And Jenna?
Hi.
Hey.
My question is, my boyfriend, he did mushrooms last weekend, and I really liked his behavior while he was on them.
Sure.
And I was wondering if I should encourage him to continue to do them.
No, that's not really a good idea.
Well, my main concern is what are the long-term effects?
We don't know. It seems that essentially all the hallucinogens have properties that you would call brain damaging. And presumably mushrooms is the same. That these chemicals that cause hallucinogenic experiences as their primary influence on the brain are associated with brain damage. So presumably mushrooms will be the same way. People don't do that much of mushrooms.
Yeah, they seem to be more benign than some of the other hallucinogens. But any way you slice it, doing it. Here's the thing about mushrooms, or any drug. When you really start getting on a serious schedule with it, it means there's problems.
Okay.
There's also a problem that you would want your boyfriend to be loaded. That really think how exploitative that is of him.
Well, he's probably a pain in the ass and hounding her for sex otherwise.
I understand that he's a pain in the ass and probably she shouldn't be in this relationship with a guy that she doesn't like or who has no respect for her, but how exploitative of him is it that she's going to use him like a petri dish and just sort of dial in some behaviors that I like? That is not really dealing with him as a person.
Well, I've tried to, he has kind of like an anger problem, and so I've tried to get him to counseling and things like that, and actually I offered to go into like a group counseling session with him because he didn't want to pay for it, but I was seeing
this is malignant codependency. Right. This is what happens when people make it their job to fix another person to the point where they're really willing to even monkey with their biology. This is why in my business, when I'm treating someone, people will actually they'll bring their wife in for treatment, and then when they're in the middle of withdrawal, they'll bring drugs into them.
Wait a minute, I thought you were a roofer.
That's right.
What business are you talking about now?
That was my old job. But I run.
What is you doing? Composite shingle work?
No, and the addiction program I run. But people will bring their loved ones whom they brought into treatment drugs while they're in treatment. They need to keep them intoxicated or under the influence of the drugs because that's the only way they can deal with them. So no matter how bad it is for the person.
When I was talking to you about getting an estimate for some hot mopping and some flashing, you were actually a doctor that whole time?
Not the whole time.
Oh, okay.
Pretending part of that.
Way off. I got to start paying attention.
Brett?
Yeah. About 2 years ago, I turned 15. I moved out on my own, and I moved in with a girlfriend who was 28.
Wow. Why'd you move out?
Just a lot of family problems. I was put in foster homes, but I moved out. I was living on my own.
What was going on in the home?
Just a bunch of family problems.
Like what?
I had some problems in high school.
What was going on in the home?
Hey, Mr. Evasive, it's a 2-hour show. Let's go.
I shot up my high school with a .357, and my dad didn't want me living there after that, so he put me in a foster home.
All right, you took a .357 Magnum, the world's most powerful handgun. I'm quoting Clint Eastwood now, by the way. You went to your high school and you shot it up?
Yeah.
Was it? Wait a minute. I'm not getting past this for just 1 second. Was it during school hours?
No, it was on a Saturday.
Oh, all right. Well, it's a weekend. What's the big deal?
Yeah.
Brett, but people don't just go do that just because. I mean, there obviously was something else going on in the home that sort of culminated in that action.
Yeah.
What was going on in the home?
Nothing. I got suspended from school.
No, not what you did. What your behaviors were. What was going on with you? What was going on in your home that led you to that point?
I got suspended from school for distribution of over-the-counter drugs, which I didn't do, and she called me a bastard to my face.
Who did?
The principal.
Bastard?
Yeah.
Really? You were just training to be a pharmacist. That's what Drew does all day.
Brett, what was going on in your home?
I just got pissed off and did that when it was my birthday. Got drunk and shot up the high school.
Whose gun was it?
My friend's dad.
Were you ever struck by your parents?
I was beat up by my dad.
That's what I'm talking about.
Okay, we're getting to it.
Okay,
now, you got to understand, people that leave home for good before the age of 18, almost without exception, have gone through some kind of abuse. Physical, sexual, whatever. You were physically abused, Brett. That's what led you to behave the way you did and act out and ultimately shoot your school up. I mean, I'm not defending what you did. Believe me, you did bad. You didn't do the right thing.
Yeah.
But it's not that it was out of the blue. It's not as though nothing was happening to you emotionally that generated these behaviors. You had a messed up family, if I agree.
Well, he was saying he came from a messed up home.
Yeah, but he wasn't saying what happened. And the fact that people don't understand what a messed up home is. The fact is that he was abused badly. I'm sure badly.
Yeah, he was an alcoholic father. So.
And he left home, and the living home was probably an okay thing.
And let me just say this. When Brett then gets popped and is in front of the judge and they're talking about sentencing Brett, I think they ought to pull Pops off of his stupid Barca-lounger and his drunken stupor, drag him in and paddle that MFer, because he is the reason Brett is involved.
But Mr. Be responsible for our actions here, Adam.
Yeah.
You can't let people not be responsible for their behaviors.
I want the dad to be responsible for ruining Brett.
But Brett still has to be responsible for what he does.
Okay. Paddle both of them.
I understand, but number two,
Put both their butts 2 feet apart and do like that.
If anybody else out there is going through this experience, their dad should be punished roundly by the legal system for if they're doing it right now. Brett's dad should have been put in jail years ago for what he was doing to Brett. Unfortunately, our system failed you, Brett.
Yeah. Anyways, the reason I'm calling is I've been living on my own since I was 15.
Yeah.
With a girlfriend of mine. She's 31 now.
Yeah.
She has a daughter by me that's 9 months old.
Wow.
But I'm getting ready to start school, so.
Good for you. College?
Yeah.
Wow.
So, but none of my family likes me being with her because of her age. And so I just wanted someone that I didn't know, their point of view, their opinion of being with an older woman.
Well, I'll let Adam give you the point of view. Let me just say that given what you've been through, you are not likely to choose good, healthy relationships. In general, I would expect you to have relationships that were kind of problems.
Okay.
So the age thing is not so much the issue as, in all likelihood, you're not going to be with the person that's good for you necessarily. I mean, I don't want to speak out of turn for your girlfriend, but you're gonna seek out kind of quasi-abusive, unstable relationships, and so I suspect that's what you're sort of in right now.
Yeah.
Yeah, and so to that extent, I mean, well, first of all, wait a minute, you're 17 now.
Yeah.
So she's breaking the law. What state are you calling from?
I'm calling from California.
Yeah, she's breaking the law in this state. She can't do that. She can't sleep.
All right, but no one cares if a woman does it. The guy's emancipated.
Wait, he's emancipated. You're right.
Look, do you guys share some of the same hobbies? Does she like shooting up schools and stuff?
No, we have nothing in common.
All right, listen. Listen, Brett, here. All right, first things first. Your parents don't get to say anything anymore about you in your life. What you're doing, who you're taking home, who you're living with, whatever you're doing. You waive that opportunity as a parent when you decide to sit on the sofa and get loaded.
Also, he's emancipated, so they really, truly don't have any right.
Right, but there's a certain respect that people give to their folks. Like Drew's parents stuck around long enough, they gave him a pretty decent shake, and now he listens to them with like one ear when they have something to say. My parents, I like kind of, I turn the TV down a little if they got something to say, and then go ahead and go against them later. But your parents cannot say anything to you.
Yeah.
They screwed you, and now you can do what you want. Now, you're with this 31-year-old. Drew's right. You found her. There's no way she's the right person for you. I don't know what her deal is, why she's with someone who's so young. My guess is she has some issues. But you have a kid between you, and you're going back to college.
Yeah, but just it's hard to go to school, work, and be with her at the same time. And I don't know if I should just not be with her, put everyone else aside, and just do what I need to do.
You do need to take care of yourself.
Do what you need to do, but you do have a child here, and you must keep that in mind as a priority. For a 17-year-old that's been through what you've been through, I can't imagine that you're going to be capable of really raising a child and taking care of yourself. You're just learning how to take care of yourself.
But here's what I want to say, Brett. Don't keep the cycle going with your child. You know what I'm saying?
Critical.
I mean, you had a child young, which is the first step in keeping the cycle, not breaking the chain
perpetuating the chain.
Perpetuating the chain of abuse.
And you found an abusive mother for the child.
And you found an abusive older mother. And you're going to want to do impulsively what was done to you at some point to your child. It's sort of a psychological fact, unfortunately. But understand it, get some help with it, and don't do what was done to you to your child.
Oh, hell no.
All right, but take care of yourself.
You understand that.
Take care of yourself, Brett. Your instinct to do that is very solid, okay?
Yeah, you'll be fine.
Thanks a lot.
I hope you'll be fine.
Well, I think it will because he has a certain survival chutzpah.
Yeah.
I mean, it's going to be tough for him for the next few years, but he'll get him. Look, you hear these stories all the time. Whoopi Goldberg was like, I don't know, living on the streets or something.
Was she really?
I don't know.
All right, let's talk to James. James is 17. James?
Hello?
Yes, James.
Hey.
Hey.
Ooh, 17?
Yeah.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
Still waiting for that other nad to drop, huh?
Yeah, just about.
That's a damn lie, and you know it!
Virgin?
Yeah.
Shocking.
Not 17.
No, you can't be 17. James, how old are you?
I'm 17.
Birth date?
May 21st, 1981.
20. 22. 21.
Yeah, wait a minute. That's all off. James.
Nice try, James.
Boy, you a retard. And even then, you went real slow.
I know.
Still couldn't come up with
it. Why are you lying about your age?
Well, James, what are you? 20? What are you?
14.
20, you're 22 or are you 17?
Or did you hang up?
Now he's there.
Yeah,
he hung up. Jesus Christ. He had a question about Spanish Fly.
I know.
Who talked to him? Which one of you goofballs? You didn't know, Damien, you didn't know this kid was 13 years old? May 21st, 1981. Well, listen, we're past 2001, are we not?
Yes, we are.
So it seemed like easy enough math to do. That was pretty good. All right, now let's okay, we're going to take a break. But look, and I have mixed feelings about handing these warnings out. But if you're going to call and lie about something, it's important to have a couple of the beats worked out. You know what I mean? If you're going to say what, like, I'll give you a clue. Like here's a good one. If you're going to say that you were born in such a month, find out what the Aquarius sign that matches up with that month is, because it'll shut people down immediately. You understand? All you got to do is go in at that. If you go, hey, I was born in May, and someone goes, well, what's the sign? And you go Gemini. I was born at the end of May. It'll shut them down immediately, right, Drew?
But the other thing some of our callers get the details down now because we've been coaching them for a few years.
Yeah,
but then no payoff.
Right.
They can't deliver a payoff.
Yeah. All right. Well, we're going to take a break, and we're going to come back, and we're going to bust more people after this.
Loveline will be right back, so get your problems ready.
Hey, it's Loveline. Phone number 1-800-LOVE-191. Fax number 310-854-4455. I want to thank some of the folks out there who have done some of the unofficial Loveline web pages. I checked them out Friday night, just for the hell of it. Now, I don't know how to work a computer, but my girlfriend does, and I said, why don't we go check it out? And checked out a few of them, and a lot of them are interesting and had a lot of good stuff, and I was profoundly flattered by those who did it. I thought, who the hell would take time to do this? I certainly wouldn't. So God bless you for those of you who have done it, and I'm sure an official Loveline web page is right around the corner.
Yeah, don't hold your breath.
Don't they have like companies that make like roach bait and stuff that have web pages and stuff?
Oh yeah.
Let me ask you a hypothetical, Drew. Do you think there's another? I'll ask Engineer Mike this question since he seems to know more about this. Do you think there's another radio show of the size of Loveline that doesn't have a web page?
Go even more broader. Anything in the media anywhere.
Anything in the media anywhere
that doesn't have a web page.
That has a few affiliates and makes some numbers.
Even Massengill has their own web page.
Do they?
Yeah.
I'm sure even, yes, much more obtuse products than that.
All right.
Their own web page.
So let's review. There's no Loveline radio web page, and we've been deleted from. Or actually, deleted isn't fair because I don't believe we've ever been on any MTV web page. Not quite sure why that is, but don't worry. Everything's been noted.
You're still making your list.
Oh, yes. I'm checking it twice. And believe me, Santa will be coming to town soon, and there'll be many a disappointed youngster in Hollywood. Lisa doesn't like when I look at her. Julie.
Hi.
You're 15.
Yeah.
Uh-oh.
I just wanted to say I like you guys.
Thanks.
Oh, Julie.
You got that little girl voice going. You scare us.
Sorry.
What's going on?
I'm kind of nervous. I think that, I might be sexually addicted.
Oh, now the gambling's really going to begin.
This is a layup. We don't have to gamble.
Oh, okay.
No, before you start gambling, I know how you guys gamble, and
Right.
I was never, abused or raped or any of that stuff.
Oh, Drew, it's not a layup.
Then it's the other side of that coin.
What happened?
The eating disorder and all that.
I was anorexic.
Oh. And I'm going to give Drew 50 cents, 75 cents for that. And I think Mike and Lisa and Ann should all contribute a little something to that. Because he was so...
Mike gave you the feh.
He was so confident... He was so confident with the sexual abuse, and then soon as that was denied, he went immediately to the eating disorder and just nailed it.
It has to be.
Right.
Certain things have to be. Thank you. That'll be fine. I'll take my quarter back.
Hey, you ate half my granola bar, please.
So, Julie, do you understand what we're getting at here?
There you go.
Yeah.
That there is a... we talk an awful lot about abusive and dysfunctional families, and really what we're talking about fundamentally is parents that lack empathy for kids, that they're acting out their own stuff on their kids. And parents can do that in a lot of ways. They can be overtly abusive, they can sexually act out, or they can be intrusive and annihilating and take you to ballet when you're 3 and make you have piano and just demand things of you that they need you to do without having any concern for how you respond to it, what you need, or nurturing a totally separate sense of yourself with some sense of self-worth. Mm-hmm. And so you sort of stop developing. You just become empty.
Yeah. The tip-off was the little girl voice at the beginning.
That's what tells us that there's been some arrest of some type. And it's very common for young girls with eating disorder, young ladies, to also, particularly bulimics, to become sexual compulsives. Okay. Did you have a lot of bulimic symptoms? Or was it just anorexia?
Yeah, I was like anorexic with bulimic.
Yeah, and so...
Wait a minute. Bulimic is not eating? No, wait. Is vomiting, and anorexia is not eating.
And the most common circumstance...
But they're usually both, right?
Both, yeah. Anorexia, bulimia.
I had a mild bout of bulimia last weekend after my surprise party. Although
I'm not sure that counts.
Oh, pot and booze don't count?
No, you have to be very careful about defining your terms. Julie, did you have your eating disorder treated?
Yes.
And how was it treated?
I was hospitalized.
And are you still in some kind of treatment for that, 12-step program or therapy?
I have group.
You still going?
Off and on.
You need to get involved there. And you really, maybe some individual therapy would help you at this point, too, because these behaviors are part of the more general syndrome we're talking about. And I don't think you have to necessarily give yourself another diagnosis, though certainly people with eating disorders do sometimes have addictions of various types. But the whole 12-step process will help with that. Some individual therapy where you gain a sense of yourself so you don't go on abusing yourself this way and find ways to connect with people in a healthy way.
Sexually addicted, right? What was her question?
She's acting out. She thinks she's a sex addict, and I'm saying maybe not, but she doesn't need to add another diagnosis. She just needs to focus on the treatment she's already in.
And listen, everybody who gets addicted, it's like, here's the way I look at addiction. I'm trying to come up with one of my lame analogies, but it's like this sort of, it's like you're trying to think. It's like, here's what it is. Oh, Christ, this one's going to suck. It's like your pinball machine, and there's one of those big silver balls inside of you, and it's an alcoholic ball for a while, and it's really doing the machine some damage, so they convert it. And it's not into alcohol anymore, but it's into gambling, it chain smokes, it drinks too much coffee, it's sexually addictive, but it's like you can't remove that ball from the machine. All you can do is hope that it bounces a little different way and gets into something else and doesn't do as much damage. One minute you're bulimic, the next minute you're sexually addicted, then you get rid of that. Now you're into gambling.
Right.
Then you're into chain smoking. You drink 2 pots of coffee and smoke 3 packs of cigarettes a day, and you have horrible relationships. I mean,
you have to manage
but you have to work on all aspects of it.
Yes.
Just because you started out with booze or pills or eating or whatever your form of addiction was, it doesn't mean the addiction's going to go away just because you stop taking the booze.
Right. Oh, absolutely. If it's truly addiction.
Right. Dan.
Yeah.
You're 24.
Yeah.
What's going on?
Well, this past Saturday, I got in a fight with my now ex-girlfriend over at Pool Hall.
What do you mean by fight?
She came in there, rant and rave because I didn't call her all day, and it got to the point where she started yelling at me, and it kind of escalated where I put my hands on her shoulders, and she called the police and put an assault charges against me.
Did anybody witness it?
There was about 50 people there.
And they agreed with her?
Not that I know of.
All right, so you're in the clear.
All right, what's the question?
I've never got angry. I mean, I literally got physically angry at her, and I literally just grabbed her really hard and just...
So maybe people did see a little bit of physical action.
I thought you put your hand on her shoulder to try to calm her down.
Not the way I did it.
Well, that's what you told us.
Yeah. We're not looking at the surveillance footage, Dan. We're just going off what you told us.
What happened?
Well, she just started yelling.
No, what did you do?
What did I do?
You whacked her one, didn't you, Dan?
Huh?
You whacked her like Tommy Lee whacked Pamela.
I don't think so.
What did you do?
What I did, I put my hand, I told her the subject's not over yet, because she wanted to walk away and say, we're not done yet, and I grabbed her by her shoulders, turned her around, and she started yelling and raving, and I say, we're not done yet, and she started...
All right, but what is the question? Hold on a second, Dan. You know what I think would be the most entertaining show on TV? We'd call it Their Side of the Story.
Right.
And basically what we would do is hear people's accounts, first-hand accounts of plaintiffs.
Truth of consequences.
Right, right. And we would hear their account of what went on.
Right.
And then
we
would show
camera.
surveillance footage of him beating her within an inch of her life with a pool cue.
Would that be amazing?
Oh, could you imagine the ratings? Dan and the comedy. Dan saying... I
put my hand on her shoulder.
She was drunk and in danger of falling down, so I put my hand on her shoulder to steady her. And just at that point, we're watching like slow motion footage of him hitting her with a beer stein. I mean, would that be the greatest show ever, Drew? And it wouldn't necessarily only have to deal with spousal abuse. You know, it could be just about anything.
Yeah. What you're bringing up is a real truth about human beings, is that perception is so variable. What do you think happened, further, how you communicate that to other people can be very distorted.
And never just discount the BS factor.
And you could be willfully doing it. Yes, you could be lying.
Right. All right. Now, Dan.
Yeah.
We got to get you to sign off on this footage so we can put together the show. But now, what's your question?
I've never been known to be a violent person up until now.
Yeah.
I was wondering if this was like leading me up to being more violent towards other women.
Well, certainly with this relationship. And once you cross into that realm, you're sort of in there. It's going to get worse, probably.
You were drunk, right?
No.
She was.
No, actually, I don't know.
What the hell were you doing shooting pool sober?
I just didn't feel like doing it that time.
Oh, boy. All right, Dan. And so here's the deal. Not only were you sober, you're in front of a bunch of people.
Oh, yeah, I had about 4 people on my back just trying to literally just make me stay away from her.
After touching
her shoulder?
Studying her shoulder that way. Trying to calm her down.
Putting your hand on her shoulder.
Originally, Dan was describing the move that the Pope does to you when you come by, where he sort of puts his hand out and touches you with the palm on the forehead a little. And it's gone from that to some sort of WWF maneuver. All right, Dan, I don't think there's anything wrong with you. The fact, there's a little something wrong, but you're calling and talking about it. You've never had an incident of this?
No.
Yeah, but this is the right mix for it, and he's the man. These two create a volatile relationship. And
there's also another thing though. I got back together with her after about 3.
Is there a child here?
Oh, heck no.
All right.
Good. I like that kind of enthusiasm in non-parenting, by the way.
Of course.
Maybe you guys ought to call it quits.
We already called it quits that night.
All right.
Okay.
All right, then that's it. Then in the future, try not to be involved with people that have chaotic past. People
it happened before, though. This is actually probably one of the other. This is probably another. I'm not going to say her name, but this is like the second time that I dated a volatile chick.
And that you got to examine why you do that and why you need to be in those kinds of relationships.
Dan has, by the way, gone from Tony Randall to Fatty Arbuckle in just about 3 minutes.
Yeah, Pretty fast transformation.
Yeah, it was pretty good. He went from a guy who was trying to calm his girlfriend by putting a loving hand on his shoulder to a guy with a long history. It was basically OJ
who was being,
at this point.
Who was being
Fatty
held.
Arbuckle. God, where do you come up with this?
Fatty Arbuckle was a actor from like the 20s.
Famous abuser of women.
He got himself into some trouble. Like he pushed a woman through a plate glass window.
When was he
and,
famous?
And
The
down,
20s.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Sherry, you're hip, right?
She fell down some stairs.
Fell down some stairs,
Yeah.
right. And he abused a few women, right?
And they never proved it, he got off.
Here's the beauty of my comedy, though. Fatty Arbuckle's funny.
Just the name.
Yeah, let the stoners go look it up. Hey, what am I want to enlighten people, Drew.
Josh.
Yeah, hi, guys. I got a little problem with my roommate.
Uh-huh.
All right, right now my roommate is severely addicted to speed.
Uh-huh.
And I mean severely. The last couple weekends he's passed out because of overdoses of it. And what I want to know, and I'm really good friends with them, but what I want to know is how should I go about getting them help?
Very difficult to do that. Speed.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, with speed particularly, for a multiplicity of reasons. That
means more than one, Josh.
The biological effects of the drug tend to feed their denial. It makes them very paranoid, very irritable, very defensive, and they really don't make a connection between the changes that are going on in their thought processes and the couple daily doses of amphetamine that they're taking.
Right.
He is undoubtedly an alcoholic.
No, he doesn't touch alcohol.
But
he has the gene.
He has the gene. His dad or grandmother or somebody was an alcoholic, and he inherited that, and that's what makes a speed addict for the most part.
What about an intervention?
That's about the only. You've got to be able to create a consequence or do an intervention. In other words, you have to break through all that denial in some fashion. Interventions where you take somebody.
Well, he's passed out a couple times because of overdoses on the weekends, and he still goes right back on.
Right. Obviously, his denial is such that he doesn't even acknowledge that he could kill himself. Now, if you want to know if people die using a lot of speed, River Phoenix was a classic example of that.
Josh?
Yeah.
If he dies in the apartment, you could lose your security deposit.
Well, you know what? I'm in college right now, so I'm in a dorm, so I'm looking at a whole semester of A's, actually.
Is he going to school?
Yeah.
Okay, are his folks around? Do they care?
No, his parents don't care, and that's where he gets.
Can you get
it from? Because his dad's a millionaire, multi-millionaire, actually.
Can you get the?
And he gives him all the money he wants.
Yeah. Well, look, speed is pretty inexpensive right now, anyway.
No, it's not.
It's not.
Not where I'm at.
Where are you?
I'm in Long Beach.
Amphetamine, I understand, is widely distributed at a low price. I mean, the kids 14 are picking it up for nothing right now.
Oh well, he does it in big amounts.
Man, you got to realize where Josh is coming from. Josh is living off of top ramen and Kraft macaroni and cheese, and anything more than $1.50 is considered
exactly
extravagant. All right.
A beer's expensive.
Your friend is likely to die and or have some very serious consequences if something isn't done. Right. You can notify people important to him. Do you understand what an
His parents are never around.
Josh, just stay with me.
Josh, don't squelch every suggestion the good doctor gives you.
But just stay with me for conceptual frameworks for the moment. Do you understand what an intervention is? Do you understand what an intervention is?
Yeah.
What is it?
It's where somebody makes him realize that he's got a problem.
No.
He's got to do it on his own.
No. An intervention is where you bring all the people that are important in that person's life together. You'd bring administrators from the college, you bring bosses where they work, you bring their girlfriend, their parents. You have a meeting with all these people. You get together with somebody who, as a profession, does these interventions, who will organize you all, actually script out exactly what you're going to do. You'll write letters which in detail go through the consequences of what you have seen occurring to this individual as a result of their drug use, and together you will ambush this person. And the result of the ambush will be you give them a packed bag after you present all the material to them and say, either you get treatment now, there's a car waiting outside, you go into the treatment center, or we will no longer be a part of your life. And 95% of the time people will go get treatment and complete treatment. Short of that, all you can do is continue to pound on his denial and point out to him what the consequences are, and don't lie about it, and don't hide it, and don't enable him, and alert everybody in his life to what's going on so maybe somebody can get through. Okay.
TJ, you're 15.
Yeah. I just want to tell you guys are like my gods. You guys are like my heroes. Like, the radio shows where the magic happens.
Thank you.
Wow.
That's going to be it.
I've been listening to you guys for like about a year and stuff.
Thank you. Hold on. The radio show, we've been looking into getting coffee mugs made up for this show for many years now. And the whole reason we haven't is because we haven't been able to find a catchy slogan. But
Nice.
the radio is where the magic happens.
And you know, Adam, how we disdain doing those liners for other stations? Here we go.
The radio is where the magic happens. Thanks, DJ. Now, what's up?
All right. I'm 15. I smoke cigarettes, and I heard rumors that there is a chance that it can make you sterile.
By sterile, you mean not being able to produce sperm?
Yeah.
Right? Okay. Well, no. However, there's better news. It can cause hardening of the artery to your penis and make your penis not work.
Oh, man.
And just the way it can cause heart disease and cause cancer and emphysema. So kind of think about that as you toke away there. It's a good thing to stop smoking cigarettes before.
Well, the good news is I'm down to 1 week.
Oh, that's good.
One cigarette a week?
Yeah.
That's good.
Seems like you could probably quit at this point.
You pansy.
Yeah. And also, you got to think about the hundreds of people you kill each time you light up that cigarette, with the secondhand smoke.
Yeah, I know.
It killed 55,000 Americans a day of secondhand smoke. That's well documented.
All right, TJ,
Drew,
the radio is where the magic happens.
Yeah, it's all over all the medical journals, right, Drew?
Yes, 10,000 deaths per TJ cigarette.
Right.
This is Chris, 14.
Chris?
Yes, I was wondering about Special K. How could you die from it?
Well, it's an anesthetic, and like with any anesthetic, you can get breathing problems and heart rhythm problems, and when anyone were to administer that to you, they'd be monitoring you very carefully. But
who would administer it to you?
No, there's just
not you. I'm asking Drew.
There's just
like an emergency room doctor
would give you Special K.
No.
Shut up, Drew.
Yes, it's ketamine as it was originally used was in emergency rooms, that sort of thing. Typically,
why?
Because why would they use it there?
Yeah.
It's an anesthetic. It puts people in sort of a twilight state, and they used to use it instead of general anesthesia or instead of
they don't
sleep.
They don't do that anymore, or they do?
They don't use that much. They use it a little bit in adolescents, but it's not used much at all anymore.
All right, Chris, go ahead there. I had to cut you off because you wouldn't shut up. Go ahead.
There's just people that that I know. I don't know, like we all smoke pot, and like they do it, and I don't know, like I don't know, they're all stupid, and I don't know, like they asked me if I wanted to do it, but I said no because
I think that would be smart not to do.
Yeah,
it's addictive for some people. It might. We're not really clear on what it's doing to people. It doesn't look good. I've seen some. Dr. Bruce was talking to me the other day about cases he's seen of people locked in, where they get in these sort of night terror states, even though they're awake and walking around. All of a sudden, they get frozen and they can't move.
Yeah,
it's awful.
Yeah,
Chris, you're 14. You need that brain of yours for later.
And they like I heard like if you do it, like if you do enough.
Listen, Chris, just don't do it, please. You're 14. Like I said, you're going to need the brain. You're going to be able to think. You're going to have to think on the fly when you get older. You understand? There's going to be a long line at the drive-thru. You're going to have people yelling at you. They're going to want to supersize. You're going to have to do that math. There's going to be specials you're going to be running. The mayor may be in town, Mayor McCheese.
Well, I ain't working. No. I'm not going to work.
All right, that's my point. There you go, buddy. Now you're talking. You see how I motivate, Drew?
That was good. I like that.
All right, we'll take a break. We'll be
motivate.
Hurrah! We'll be right back.
Oh yeah!
Loveline will be right back.
You got to walk back to the hotel, don't you?
You're gay. I'm taking a cab.
Really?
Hey, I'm way down in Times Square. That's a good 20 blocks.
Yeah, I walked back to the Riga Royal last time.
It's raining and it's 35 degrees out.
Come on, suck it up!
And I got to be up at... Did you walk back having to get up at 4 in the morning?
You pansy!
Yeah. When I did Stern in New York, I left the radio at 3 a.m. I walked
Matt
back.
is sitting here going, no way he had a limousine waiting. No way.
Shut up. Shut up. Well, I was going to get a ride from Matt, the engineer, but I couldn't.
That?
He was he was hanging out or something. Anyway. All right, yeah, with my bad ankle. It was a great plan. And then when I got up to my room at 3:30, didn't have the key on the 40th floor. Yeah. Good. I love how that works. All right. Tomorrow night there, buddy boy. Yeah, give me a call on the cell.
Wait, no. You call me on mine. I don't know your phone number.
All right.
I've got a different phone. I've got the other phone here.
All right, go ahead and give it out over the air.
No,
just hang on there. So until next time, Adam Carolla for Dr. Drew saying mahalo.
This has been Loveline. The opinions expressed on this show are not necessarily those of the staff, management, sponsors, or this station. The producer for Loveline is Ann Wilkins Ingle. Loveline is a presentation of Westwood One Entertainment.